So you want to visit LA, but you're not really sure what all you want to do? Look, I've lived here for years and I still get overwhelmed by the amount of options for things to do and places to be. So whether the full 5 days or fewer, you could do any day in any order and craft the perfect trip to Los Angeles. We're starting off day one here in West Hollywood, more specifically the Sunset Strip, which I think is one of the best spots for doing a hotel versus downtown, or especially not by the airport. My favorite overall hotel here is the Best Western Sunset Plaza. It's a bit more affordable than the other, more trendy hotels. It also has a beautiful courtyard, poolside oasis area that's really a great escape from the Sunset Strip, loud and crowded right next to me here. And obviously, aside from the music venues and clubs here on the Sunset Strip, it's also a great area to grab breakfast or brunch. Further down on Melrose, there's like the great white, fresh, coastal type food for vegetarian, vegan cuisines. There's the Butcher's Daughter. Up here on the Sunset Strip, I recommend BBCM for their colorful lattes, fun brunch with mimosas. I've been there before and it's a great tasty spot, unlike some of the more touristy ones that can be up here. West Hollywood has so much stuff that you could spend an entire day just filling it with activities to do here, but it's also a great starting off point for other areas nearby like Hollywood and Griffith Observatory. Ew, Hollywood. Just kidding. Although it does seem like it's becoming increasingly popular every year to just call Hollywood dirty and not even worth the visit. But I actually disagree. Just maybe don't spend the whole day here, especially for first timers. It's a lot of fun to stroll along, find your favorite celeb stars, pose for some pics. If you're a fan of shows like the Jimmy Kimmel Show, maybe try to nab some free tickets to it because it's right over there. And it is Hollywood after all. Just about every week there's either a movie premiere going on. Like right now as we're filming this, they're setting up for the 2025 Academy Awards ceremony that's happening this weekend right here at the Dolby Theater behind me. So you may not have a red carpet invite, but there's always a chance you'll spot a little someone at one of these events. Who knows? Just day to day walking around, you're probably not going to see any actual celebs other than their stars and some of those street performers and the people that dress up in costumes, which feel free to take pictures with them if you want to. Just remember that they're going to expect a tip. Maybe negotiate with them beforehand, otherwise they'll probably charge you like $20-30. And also right behind me next to the Dolby Theater is this gorgeous outdoor mall space that I love visiting, where you can take some great photos with the Hollywood sign right behind you. Now, you can get closer to it and even hike up to it if you want to, but unless you want to dedicate a whole day to that, I feel like this is the perfect spot for getting some really good photos of the Hollywood sign with yourself in it. If you are a more avid outdoorsy hiking type of person, then you'll want to head over to Beechwood Canyon Drive, where you'll find the entrance to some of the main trails that go up to the sign from there. Other than that, Hollywood-wise at least, you could go down and do a studio tour at Paramount Studios, the only remaining actual studio in Hollywood itself, especially if you're a fan of like The Godfather, Top Gun, a Trekkie like me. If you're a foodie, grab some lunch at Love to Eat in Hollywood, one of my favorite Thai spots in LA, or one of the various other Thai restaurants in Thai Town over in East Hollywood, which is on the way over to Los Feliz, which is I think a great area to spend the afternoon with their various cafes, more low-key, local feeling vibes to just stroll around and enjoy the area. Okay, so we're now outside of Griffith Observatory. Not just one of my favorite tourist attractions in Los Angeles, but one of my favorite places here, period, and a definite must-try on any visit to the area. The grounds of which and the observatory inside with its exhibits completely free to peruse and walk around. Beautiful views of both the Hollywood sign and the Los Angeles skyline. For that reason, I think it's the perfect place to come to, either late afternoon or evening when it's that beautiful golden hour. You can get some gorgeous photos of Los Angeles glistening in the golden light. And at night, up here on the rooftop rooftop of the observatory, you can take a look through their telescope at the night sky for completely free. Another rooftop you may consider for closing out your evening today would be the Desert 5 spot back over in Hollywood, where you can grab some lovely cocktails, enjoy their beautiful views of the Hollywood lights and the LA skyline. So for this day, we're having a beach day, which, as you can see by the haziness, fogginess of today, it isn't always sunny by the coast in Los Angeles. So keep that in mind when dressing. Make sure you have hoodies or jackets with you. Hello, it's Future Parker here. I actually decided to come back on a different day because I really want you guys to have the chance to see this area on a nice sunny day. What I did was I went to the packpark.com website and I used their live cams to make sure that it actually is sunny here by the pier today. So that's something that you can use as well when planning your visit, and I'll leave a link to it down below. As you can see, we're on the Santa Monica Pier, the end of the historic Route 66, and one of those iconic parts of LA that just about everyone first thinks of when it comes to Los Angeles as a whole. And for good reason. It's beautiful to walk along either by day or in the evening for golden hour. There's lots of fun rides for either your kids or just anyone. Amusement park themed bites and snacks and other restaurants and bars. Lots of those, vendors and street performers as you walk along that boardwalk part of the pier. Another thing that's a short drive from Santa Monica, if you'd like to add one of them to your day, is either the Getty Center or the Getty Villa up the PCH, Pacific Coast Highway. Now, as you're aware, parts of Los Angeles didn't have the best start of the year when it comes to fires and natural disasters. The Pacific Coast Highway, as of right now, does remain closed to most people. But if you're here in the future and it is possible to visit the Getty Villa, that's my personal favorite museum in all of Los Angeles. It's absolutely gorgeous with its authentic Roman villa that transports you right back in time to that ancient Roman Italian countryside. It's really good for aesthetic Instagram photos on the grounds. Plus, you can learn a lot about the history and art of that time period in Rome and Greece. Speaking of driving, you could try parking on the pier, but honestly, it'd be a lot easier to just use the parking garage that's behind me down this street directly in front of the pier here by the Santa Monica Place Mall. It's free for 90 minutes to park there and just a lot more convenient to get in and out of. You also could use public transit like the Metro E line here. It's a light rail line that comes from downtown, about a 45-minute journey. If you're connecting to it from the Hollywood subway, that's just over an hour. And these trains are really clean and relatively safe. I've never had any issue when I've ridden on them before. So that is a good non-driving option for coming here if you'd like to make use of that. Something I also love about Santa Monica is how pedestrian friendly it is and the multiple micro mobility options. They've got these green bike lanes everywhere that you can use for things like scooters or bikes. That being said, the outdoor mall of the 3rd Street Promenade has seen better days, if I'm being honest. So what I recommend is using either the sidewalk or these bike lanes to head over to the main street of Santa Monica, where you'll find lots of shops and also some of the best restaurants and cafes that the city here has to offer. The creative Southeast fusion food at Colby's. For a more casual option, there's also the smash burgers at Heavy Handed. One of my favorites in all of Los Angeles. Ooh, those burgers are so good. From there, you can continue on to Venice Beach for the remainder of your day. Welcome to the Venice Beach Boardwalk. This part of it right by Rose Avenue, I kind of prefer because it's a little bit more chill feeling, cafes and bars along it that you could pop into to grab a drink, enjoy the view of the beach and the water. One such option is the Waterfront Venice, although keep in mind that on the weekend it's got a very, day party, DJ packed type of atmosphere if you're going then. Otherwise, it's just nice to walk along, continue further down the boardwalk, or you can use the little bike path to rent a bike and use. All right, so we're just taking a walk along the Venice Canals right now. They're all the way at the very south end of the Venice Beach area, like right by Marina del Rey. So a great spot to end your beach day in Santa Monica and Venice Beach. Enjoy that golden hour on days that don't look like today, at least. It doesn't always have that sunny golden hour aesthetic around here by the coast. And it's actually kind of funny because over in Hollywood where I live, it's a bright, hot, sunny day all day. So just keep that in mind. Also, if like the weather app says partly cloudy or mostly sunny, don't exactly trust it completely. It may end up looking more like this. Regardless, the Venice Canals are such a lovely and peaceful place to walk around. You know, it's honestly kind of sad that they're as small as they are now. Back when they were first built, all the way, you know, in the early 1900s, they covered a vastly larger area, all the way up over in Abbot Kinney. All of that used to be canals. That's why a lot of these roads are like really weirdly shaped and kind of crisscross and go diagonal all over the place. Even on a day like today, there's still people out and about strolling, walking their dogs, ducks by the water, cats chilling on ledges. All right, well, that wasn't the most ideal beach day for me, at least, but do keep in mind that it is February right now, so you most likely will have a better day, whether it's, you know, the spring, summer, or fall when you come. Let's get to a new day of exploring a different part of LA. Let's get away from the coast. Woohoo! Today's a great sunny day for exploring mid-city LA, including some of LA's best museums like the Brea Tar Pits Museum that we're outside of right now. The expansive grounds of which are completely free to walk around. They've got actual tar pits you can view with like recreations of woolly mammoths and other ancient prehistoric creatures trapped in the pits. They also do have a paid entry museum space that you could also check out if you're more interested in learning about the whole history of it all. It's also right next to the LACMA Museum, one of LA's premier art museums. Just keep in mind that it is currently under renovation, so there's a lot of construction work, which I'm sure will make it look great once it's all complete in 2026 next year. But for right now, it is a little bit of an inconvenience. Although I will say that also here is another museum, the new-ish Academy Museum. So it has, you know, kind of those immersive, innovative exhibits showcasing the history of film right here in Los Angeles. Now, if you're a bit of a foodie, not far from here is the Little Ethiopia strip of restaurants that you may want to check out. There's also the renowned French-inspired Republique restaurant just over on La Brea Avenue, which is great for brunch or dinner. I recommend it personally for their brunch. Otherwise, you could come up here to 3rd Street, which has many of LA's trendiest like cafes and restaurants. My personal favorite is just across the street, quite literally a little hole in the wall entrance. But back there, Bakery has a beautiful outdoor patio space, perfect for both brunch and dinner. It's got, you know, Mediterranean tapas style dishes, so you can pick and choose what you'd want. They've also got a killer open bar all day long for wine and beer if that's your sort of thing. And for a cheaper option, stop by the Win-Dow over here by the Grove. Aside from In-N-Out, these are some of my favorite cheap burgers in LA. Really good, convenient spot. You know, as the name implies, Win-Dow. They have these little window pickup spots, originally over in Venice Beach and Hollywood now as well. And this is their latest, most recent opening just this year. Only $4 for the single one. They're so good. I love these. Seriously. But yeah, so the Grove is like this fun, almost theme park type shopping area right here in the mid-city part of LA. It's got, you know, a lot of cutesy little cafes like La La Land Cafe. It's even got this free trolley that goes down the shopping center that you can ride on. It's also right next to the original farmers market. Granted, is a little bit hit or miss when it comes to the food options there, but worth perusing and strolling through and giving it a look. Do keep in mind though that the parking for both the farmers market in the Grove is like crazy expensive, some of the highest you'll see. So maybe, you know, if you're parking here, don't plan to stay like the whole afternoon, because keep in mind you'll end up paying quite a bit for those parking fees. Yeah, so if you're in the area, I think that the Grove and Farmers Market is a fun little spot to stop by. Maybe you need to relax and chill a bit, just do some shopping, make a little stop at a cafe. So to cap off the night, I'd say to head up just above from here by Melrose to a place called EP&LP. On their rooftop, they have a casual bar lounge space where you can get some of their creative cocktails and then just enjoy the sunset in the evening. Welcome to a day in downtown LA. Right now, we're in the heart of the bustling Grand Central Market, one of the area's oldest and most iconic food halls, and home to outposts of several of my favorite breakfast sandwiches, burgers, tacos in Los Angeles. It also contains one of the best vegan spots in Los Angeles, a ramen spot called Ramen Hood. So yeah, while there are a few unique food spots to Grand Central Market, these days I say it's best for getting a good, dose, selection, variety of some of LA's most popular and trendy spots around the city, all in one place right here in downtown. Also, I did want to mention, to start the day for breakfast and brunch, you may want to consider Poppy and Rose. It's over in the Flower District part of downtown. For years has been one of my favorite brunches in all of Los Angeles. Those biscuits and gravy there, just so good. They also got a mimosa kit if you want to have a little bit of boozy fun while there. There's so much to do in downtown LA, which is actually very large, and each section of it could be a whole neighborhood in its own right that you could spend a whole day in. So today we'll be focusing on the Arts District and Little Tokyo areas of downtown LA, which are side by side to each other and feature some of the best Japanese cuisine in America. Like here in Little Tokyo, where I love Dakokoya for ramen and Maragume Manzo for udon, some of the best restaurants in Los Angeles, and great hangout spots both at day and night, for day drinking, like here in the Arts District, where Arts District Brewing and Angel City are a few of my favorites. And here in the heart of Little Tokyo, I also love just strolling through this little Japanese village plaza. It feels like it takes you right into like a little village in Japan. It's so cute with the lanterns everywhere and all the authentic looking little shops and cafes, boba shops. And downtown as a whole is easily accessible by public transit, but the Arts District and Little Tokyo in particular have this great recently opened station right in the middle of it all that you can use to access the area. I also love that they've started opening up these throne bathrooms, free to use. You just got to use your phone to scan the QR code on them. I think that's really nice because sometimes I want to use public transit, but then I'm like, oh, what if I have to use the bathroom and there's nowhere to go? Well, now stations like these do have a free bathroom option if you're relying on that to get around the city. Now, I know we already had our museum day over in Mid-City, but if you're a bit of a museum junkie, then you may also want to stop by the Broad that's over in the Bunker Hill part of downtown LA. That museum is free admission. You'll just want to make sure that you make a reservation on their website, select a time and a day to go. It's usually pretty easy, so you can avoid long lines without one of those timed reservation slots. So for this 5th day in Los Angeles, you could spend the whole day at something like Universal Studios Hollywood, which is always good fun. But if you want to spend more time exploring the city and different parts of it, I think you could easily spend an entire day exploring an area like Silver Lake. And Silver Lake is awesome because it's got both lots of long-time local spots for bites, historical buildings that they're located within, and many of LA's most renowned and award-winning restaurants in Los Angeles, including Pizzano, one of my favorites that I've previously visited. Aside from that, they've also got those famous hidden steps throughout the area that you can walk through, covered in art. You can go up and get great views of the city and skyline. And for just hanging out, going by one of their great happy hour spots, like at 33 Taps. This sports bar in Silver Lake is one of my favorite hangout spots here, and also one of the best happy hours in the entire city, from 3 to 7 and from 9:30 to close. They've got a bunch of bites like pizza and tacos for under $10, pints of beer for $5, and even a whole entire pitcher for under $20. Adjacent to Silver Lake, week is Echo Park, home to many more of LA's most talked about food spots and restaurants. Also great for like the wine and cocktail bar scene. For a bit more underground grunge, they got those Echoplex music venues. And of course, the gorgeous Echo Park Lake. You could rent a little swan boat to ride on, especially if you're a couple. It's also just nice to stroll around. They got taco and other food vendors you could grab something from. I love the palm trees all around, the little fountains in the center. Just a great place to cap off your amazing trip to LA. So those are 5 days in Los Angeles. Let me know if there were any places or neighborhoods you'd want a more in-depth look into in a future video. But for now, it's actually my birthday on the day I'm posting this. So I'd love if you liked and shared this with anyone that would love it. And also make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already. But with that, I'll see you later. Love y'all. Cut. It's honestly kind of small that it's as small as it is. Make sure this is good. Realized I didn't put the mic back for that last part.